Rev up your engines!
Well, the race to sell $25,000 EV in the United States has ended. Now you got to buy a used one, not a new one, but Hertz now has a no-haggle $25,000 price tag on their used Teslas. They got to get rid of these things that nobody wants them. Average sale prices at Hertz now are $25,000. And overall, used EV prices have slumped 32% so far this year. And that's what they say. I can tell you it's worse than that. I've seen people buy used Teslas for 1/4 of their original price, and they only got like 50,000 miles on them. Nobody wants these used electric cars. They know about how it costs to fix them, how much the batteries cost, how much it costs to insure them, how much the tires cost, and people are just like, well, no, I don't want one of those. Now, since Hertz let 20,000 of these Teslas out for sale, they flooded the market with cars that people basically don't want anyway. Let me warn you something. If you're just thinking, oh, I can get one of those for $25,000 or less, right? Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg of the endless money pit, right? You got one, the battery's all worn out. Yeah, there's 20-something grand you'd have to spend on the battery alone. Try to find anybody who even knows how to work on these things. These are used cars. They were used at rental car companies. I never advise people to buy cars from rental car companies because I've seen people who have, and often it bites them in the rear end. Even a good car like a Toyota or Honda often has the heck beat out of it. It's maintained poorly at the rental car places. Then you got it. No guarantee from them, right? They're just as is. And interesting enough, as the pace of people buying new ones is starting to sink down, right? People that wanted electric cars have bought it. Now most other people are sitting on the fence, or they're on the other side of the fence saying, I don't want one of those crappers. Now all of a sudden, they got 20,000 used ones flooding the market. When the new sales go down, the used sales go down too. And especially something as specific as an electric car that everybody knows isn't proven. There aren't places to charge them. There aren't people who know how to fix them. There aren't parts available for them. It's going to be a real kick in the hiney in the next few years to see what actually happens with Tesla. Well, Toyota claims they have a new engine that's a game changer, and it is an internal combustion engine. They have a new 1.5 and 2-liter engine. They can run on lots of different fuels, but they're still internal combustion. They're not electric. Looking at higher thermal efficiency. More of the energy from the combustions turned into traveling energy than is wasted on heat. The way these are going to work is the combustion engine is a generator to feed battery power to a motor that drives the wheels. So it doesn't directly drive the wheels. It only creates electricity to drive the electric motors. And they say they've got this at a pretty good level of efficiency. Toyota says that they've got a shorter stroke instead of real long stroke. They're a shorter stroke, which means they'll last longer and they'll be more efficient. The shorter strokes can burn more efficiently. The problem with gasoline is when your piston goes up and the spark plug fires, it takes a little while for the flame to go the whole way to burn everything. See? That goes for inefficiency. If you got a shorter stroke, the flame has a less distance to travel, so it's more efficient. And these, of course, are all ideas for hybrids. These aren't straight gasoline engines, they're hybrid systems to make the gasoline engine be even more efficient in a hybrid setup. Because, I mean, Toyota's been using a pretty basic hybrid system since the early Prius. It hasn't changed too much. They've beefed it up. They've done stuff here and there. But this would be more of a game-changer design. There's only one sad point of the story is Toyota says they don't expect to see these new engines in cars until around 2027. So it might be a 3-year wait for these engines that are going to be highly efficient. So hey, Toyota's going along with internal combustion engines, realizing these things are going to be around for quite some time. And while the other companies are making regular hybrids, copying what Toyota did 25 years ago, Toyota's trying to make even better hybrid engines to be even more efficient. Now, you can't wait till they come out. Well, now we're finding out some truth about China where, you know, are they telling the truth or are they lying? Well, here's one of their biggest cheats of all time. It's a 1,000-foot long waterfall. It's pretty full. Niagara Falls is only like 250 feet or something, so it's real long. But it turns out that the 1,000-foot waterfall is actually fed by a giant pipe. It's like they turned a faucet on to make the waterfall. I guess they ran out of water, right? Here's the beautiful waterfall. Look. Oh, gigantic. And there's a little pipe at the top that the water's coming out of. They're even cheating with their waterfalls in China. And the Chinese officials said, well, that's just to enhance the experience. Well, if you look closely, there's no water coming off the top of the rocks anymore. It's all coming from near the top where the pipe is sticking out. Better job and put the pipe all the way at the top and the back so you couldn't see it, right? And then it would come over and no one would notice. But somebody noticed it, obviously, with binoculars. Says, hey, the water's not coming from the top. It's coming from a little bit below the top. What's going on here? All right, I can't stand the horse manure that these green people are throwing out. Here's an article in the Boston Herald, of all things, entitled, Wind energy could save New England customers hundreds of millions on electricity. What a load of horse manure. All right, perfect example. Out there in the ocean, off the coast of Rhode Island and Massachusetts, they're building these wind turbines, right? Giant ones. Spending a fortune. Guess what's happened? Since they started putting those up and putting them online, my electric bill here is over 75% higher than it was last year. I use the same exact amount of electricity. Luckily, I don't use all that much. Small house, there's only two of us in it. Right? Usually I just open the windows because we're near the ocean, so the wind at night cools the house down. And I have natural gas heat, so I'm not using electricity to heat it. But still, my electric bill is 75% higher than it was last year to pay for those stinking windmills they're putting in, right? These liars at the Boston Herald. Wind energy could save New England customers hundreds of millions in electricity. No, they don't. They don't save you anything. They got to recuperate their money. But then, the most insidious thing is, those suckers are going to break. They're not going to last 50, 80, 90 years. You're lucky if you get 15 years out of them. Then you got to fix them again or build new ones, right? They're even having problems out there. There's a certain kind of rock, and those are pile-driven in, the big monopoles, right? They're pile-driven in. And they're saying, well, some of those rocks, they could shatter, and they could be very, unstable, and then the waves could knock them over. Let's see what happens, right? And guess who pays for it if they get knocked over? We, the ratepayers. And these swines come out and say, it's going to save New England. There's hundreds of millions of dollars. What a bunch of nonsense. Total nonsense. They just flat out lie. And then years later, when we keep paying more and more, they're like, well, I guess we were wrong about that one. Oh, gee, I guess we just had the wrong idea about it. Hey, well, what can you say? It's like Elon Musk. He was going to have 100,000 electric semi-trucks on the road. What, there's 18 of them or something now? And they're massive failures. They can't go far. They break down all the time. They do tests with them, and then you find out the test was one driving, two follow them with diesel trucks pulling them on trailers, and then when the first one runs out of battery, then they put another cab onto the trailer, and then when that one goes out, they put another one on the trailer, and they don't even drive 70 more than 15 minutes of the time. The rest of the time, they're going slower speeds. It's a joke. They're trying to scam us all. And this nonsense that they're even allowed to say, something big like the Boston Herald, it can save us hundreds of millions of dollars. No, it won't. We'll just pay more and more and more for crappy technology that is overpriced, and it only makes electricity when the wind's blowing at the right speed. If it's too windy, they got to shut down or they windmill. If it's not windy enough, they don't create any electricity, right? It's just stupidity. Well, here's a way to get even. If people are parked illegally, fill their truck with garbage. That happened in the Philippines. This guy was blocking an area where people would bring their garbage through. So they said, the heck with it. And they filled the truck with garbage and then surrounded it with garbage. Hey, maybe not a bad idea, Somebody tries to pull some fast one, fill their vehicle with garbage. That'll teach them a lesson to park there when they're not supposed to park there. Now, everybody today, they think they can park wherever they want, right? It's like, it's just me. It's the me generation. We're all me, me, me. Everything's about me. I don't care if I block this thing here, blah, blah, blah. And then they whine like babies when they get their vehicle towed away because they're parked in a no parking zone. So be wary where you park your vehicle, or you might end up finding it full of garbage, as this guy did. Well, you want a fast bicycle? Check this out. This is an 80-mile-per-hour military bicycle. Selling to the military. Turns out the Ukrainians are using them all the time for getting people here and there, for putting sniper guys in fast areas. Now, Los Angeles brand, electric bike brand, High Power Cycles has a new defense division known as HPC Defense. They have an 80-mile-an-hour military electric bike. It's one of their first projects. Now, most electric bikes in the United States are supposed to be limited at 28 miles an hour if you can use them on bike paths and stuff. Well, this thing can go 80 miles an hour. Now, I guarantee you, it can't go 80 miles an hour for very long. That's super fast, and it's a bike. How big can the battery be, right? It's called the Revolution W, and they claim it's the fastest factory military-grade e-bike in the world. It's got a 10,500 watt motor, and it has a special type of design that you can even give it pedal assist up to 50 miles an hour. Boy, you could just pedal to 50. That's insane. It has a German-made Schlumpf high-speed drive, so you can pedal 50 miles an hour. You better have strong legs to pedal it. Gear it, so that you get to go 50 miles an hour just pedaling. But once you put the battery in, it can go 80 miles an hour. Hey, that would be flying on a bicycle, man, I'll tell you. I don't think I'd want to be driving them that fast. I've driven them 45 miles an hour, these bicycles. It scared the heck out of me. And I'm a motorcycle driver. Just those tiny wheels, tiny suspension. You don't feel safe going that fast on a bicycle. Now, they claim that this Revolution W has a range of 100 miles. But that's no way at 80 miles an hour. Maybe when it's going 15 or 20. That's what I see with all these electric bikes. They say it can go this fast. And it's got a range of this. Well, the range, what's the range? Well, the range is when you're going 12 miles an hour, not when you're going 48 miles an hour, right? I gotta say, though, it's pretty cool looking. If Revolution W wants to send me one of these bikes, I will gladly try it out with my stable of electric bicycles. It would definitely be the fastest one. And I would make a promise that I would only ride it on our own land that fast. I wouldn't take it on a road where there's people. It would be too dangerous, right? But hey, get a hold of me, ScottyKilmer@gmail.com. If you really want to get some PR, send me one of those bikes and I will try it out. Honestly, I've been riding a bunch of them around. I'd love to try one that goes 80 miles an hour because the fastest I've gone is like 48 in one of those things. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.